So I have a port. It's a type of central line. Hopefully there will be blood if my port cooperates.
We also have our tubes. We've got several tubes that we're drawing today. I believe it's 8 total.
Lots of blood. Good Tuesday morning. If I show you all of the supplies, I bet most of y'all can guess it is IVIG day. But today we are also going to be drawing labs from my port. If y'all remember, with my last Xolair shot, my immunologist ordered some testing to further look into my immune system and my mast cell disease to see why I'm having so many issues in this area despite treatment, and to hopefully get a better understanding of what's going on. So with that information, we can form a more concrete treatment plan. But the first step is to get the labs drawn. So I have a port. It's a type of central line. It's a small device implanted under the skin. So when all of this stuff is removed, you can't see it. It's just like a bump under my skin. And this yellow winged thing here is the needle. When it's in my port, it gives me IV access. This circle thing here is a bio patch. It keeps the area clean and sterile and whatnot. And then this clear thing and that white thing, that's just the tegaderm dressing on top to keep it sealed and sterile. I actually don't notice my port anymore. I've had it almost 2 years now. It doesn't bother me at all. And I'm actually accessed 24/7 because the highest point of infection risk is when you are accessing, putting the needle in. I have to do it once a week because that is my protocol. But I use my port every day, multiple times a day. So to de-access and re-access every time I needed it, totally not practical, and that would put me at too much risk for infection. But I hope one day I can get to the point where I'm de-accessed for longer periods of time. But the other thing is, we never know when I'm going to have one of my more severe mast cell reactions where I need to promptly administer IV Benadryl to help treat it. So that's also why I'm currently accessed 24/7. But, and I'm so excited to share this with y'all, since my last Xolair shot a week ago, I have not had one of my more severe, quick onset, struggling to breathe mast cell reactions. And that's the longest I've gone without one of those in a while. I mean, I have had mast cell symptoms that I struggled with and I needed some IV Benadryl, but not one of those rapid onset severe reactions. And that is progress, and I am so thankful. Anyways, yes, today, drawing labs from my port for my immunologist before I do pre-meds and the IVIG. And what's really nice about having a central line, okay, I say really nice. There's pros and cons, obviously. For me, my central line is my lifeline. It keeps me out of the hospital. Another bonus is when I need to draw labs, we don't have to do peripheral sticks usually because I'm a hard stick. And so my doctors will just send the lab order to my home health company. And then when my nurse comes, Danielle, she's coming today. She comes every 2 weeks for my IVIG. I did have that one time where I ran it by myself when I was in North Carolina, but ultimately, I prefer her to come because I love her, but also I just feel safer. IVIG is a blood plasma product, so it has more potential for you to have a negative reaction because each dose is a little different since it comes from the human body. Anyways, wow, my mind's all over the place. Danielle's coming. We're gonna draw labs. Pre-warning, if you're uncomfortable with blood, I would stop watching now because hopefully there will be blood. My port cooperates. It's been iffy with blood return because of issues. It's another con about the port. It doesn't always work perfectly, but fingers crossed. All right, y'all, Danielle is here. We're gonna, moment of truth here. I think my port is gonna be cooperative.
Oh, fingers crossed. So we're gonna draw blood from the port.
Yeah.
We use a vacutainer.
I love these things.
They're so much easier. And then we also have our tubes. We've got several tubes that we're drawing today. I believe it's 8 total.
Lots of blood. I told her my limit is 16 tubes.
So we're really challenging ourselves a little bit.
We got this.
All right.
I had perfect blood return yesterday, last night even, so.
Yeah, and if you have a port, I would highly recommend getting your blood drawn via port if you can.
It's just, you don't have to get stuck.
Yeah.
No. And I don't feel it at all.
So we're putting in about 5 cc's and we're gonna pull back 5.
And this is just normal saline. It's Is it
Yeah.
working? Oh, it's
Yeah, so we
working.
can see the blood coming in, which is great. Now, that is great. Thank goodness, right?
I know.
Jaquie does not have the best veins, and she does not really like to be stuck.
I don't. And my port really is so finicky. It could work one moment, and then literally the next moment it'll stop working. So this is how the vacuum works. It just sucks the blood out for us.
Mm-hmm. Very convenient. Now, some places though, like Quest and LabCorp, will not draw from your port, or if you had a PICC line, they won't draw from that either, because they're not registered nurses. They're just phlebotomists, so they can't do anything that's port or PICC care.
Yeah, that's why I prefer for Danielle to do it. Plus, I really trust her. I know she does everything with the proper technique. And even though I do my own port care, if I ever needed someone else to do it because I didn't feel well, I trust Danielle to do it.
Well, thank you.
Then after she draws all of this, she's gonna run down the street to drop him off at Quest.
You are flowing today, girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's really good because we've really had issues with my port being finicky, and there's a few reasons for that.
What about dehydration? Were you a little dehydrated in the past when that was happening?
No, because I run fluids, so
that's
I
right.
shouldn't be. And I ran fluids last night because of the IVIG. Blood.
Yeah, I am like...
I never thought I'd be so happy for blood until I got a central line. And one reason that my port doesn't always give good blood return is because the catheter on the inside, we did a port study, is a little bit long and it kind of gets stuck on the blood vessel. So that can be a reason why. We've done cath flow before, but that won't fix the issue with my port. It's not a fibrin sheath, which is kind of like a thing that can get stuck on the end, like a scab on the, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Like a
basically.
scab, yeah. So I've never had issues with it flushing though, which is great. So as long as it's flushing properly and it doesn't hurt me or anything like that, I can still use my port for my IV treatments. Sometimes you can taste what you put into your port. I don't always taste saline, but certain medications, sometimes it gives me a weird taste.
Is it like metallic?
Yeah, the steroids.
I was gonna say, yep, selling.
And then the IV Toradol, my NSAID, non-steroid anti-inflammatory drug, gives me a really weird taste.
This thing is going, so I'm really happy about this.
I know, thank God. All right,
Last
last
one.
one.
And then after this, we're gonna take the vacutainer off and then push 10 cc's of normal saline.
And I gotta push my pre-meds and we'll just do IVIG.
Here we go. See, now we're clearing out that line.
That went perfectly.
Yes,
So that was a lot of blood.
that was quite a bit. Do you feel okay? I feel great. Lots of tests run today, and some of them require 2 tubes, so
That's, I dropped one.
serious business.
Alrighty, well Danielle went to Quest to drop off my blood work. I still have some urine testing to do, like 24-hour urine testing, but I have to go to Quest myself to pick up the containers for that, so probably do it over the weekend. But the blood work is done, and hopefully by the time I see my immunologist towards the end of September, all of the results will be in. So there is one of the many uses for a central line. Like I said, there are definitely pros and cons, but for me, the pros outweigh the cons, and it's my lifeline. It allows me to do my IV treatments and therapy so I can live my best life possible. If y'all want to know more about IVIG, check out this playlist. I've made lots of videos regarding my treatment for IVIG, why I get it and how it's helped me, things like that. But for now, I'm gonna sign off. When Danielle gets back, we're gonna start the IVIG and we're gonna watch The Greatest Showman. Neither of us have seen it, but people have told us it's wonderful. It's got music and singing, and I love music and singing, so I think it's gonna be a good treatment day, right, Hippo? Good girl. So with that, we'll say goodbye. And she wants more pets. Okay, let me sign off and I will give you more pets. Goodbye, and thanks for joining us on our adventure.